I did get the pleasure today. Let me drop my change into the change slot. You want to guess how much there is, and you can win a can of empty jelly beans. And you can win one empty jelly bean with a bunch of cans inside. You could win one empty jelly bean with a bunch of cans inside. I just said that, and I'm supposed to live an average life. I'm expected to run through the concourse of the mundane. How many jelly beans full of empty cans was that? So it took one stamp. I just wanted to be sure, but it did get me a day ahead, so I can get my... They're like, yeah, your tooth doesn't need to be worked on or whatever. I'm like, yeah, well, it's like I got a crack in it, and the gum line, you know, and my dentist ruined it. So I got to walk through the Mojave. That's what it felt like, walking from the car to that door of the post office there. So that was cool. No, it was a certain situation of I was walking from here to there, and somebody in a red car had their window down. If you know what I mean, you know, they had their window down. You watch things change. You watch the composition of people's apparel change through time. It's miraculous. Remember, kids used to have 9 Inch Nail logo packs on their backpacks, and I saw a kid with a Smashing Pumpkins hoodie, and I thought it was a Zero Skateboards hoodie, but it was Zero from the Smashing Pumpkins, and those kids intimidated me. And then I got kicked out of a chorus class or music class or whatever, and I was in the hallway and all that kind of stuff, and I was just bummed out. I was tired of getting kicked out of some of the classes or whatever, just for having too much energy and all that. And they came up to me and talked to me, and we talked about skateboarding and everything. And that guy, he had board slid a double set. That's pretty crazy to me, man. That was great, though. And it was nice to have older kids that intimidated you, but then accepted you under their feathered pigeon wings and all that. So anyway, what I was thinking was, and I'm getting to the point, most people, you want me to talk about a Star Wars collectible figure, or the last, you know, motion picture movie that you're gonna forget in 3 minutes. Meanwhile, Sullivan's Travels is one of the best movies ever. I won't explain what I just saw either. I'll drive as I talk. I just was afraid of the idea of this phone tipping over, but if you're gonna tip on me, you can pretend like you're painted up in black and white spots if you want to. Anyway, the idea is this. So somebody was driving down the highway, down the interstate, and they went like, ah! And then I realized that didn't upset me at all. I was like, I'm like that person, and I thought, you know, just for a little bit of a scene of a movie, not that I could get funding for it, because it might change your life. You might feel a little bit happy, and maybe you learn something. If I was to direct a movie and get the budget for it. You can't do stuff like that. Pirates, bank robbers, all that kind of stuff. The pirates today, the bank robbers today. Wall Street, the land of Isis Ra Elohim. Figure that one out. The land of Isis Ra Elohim. I'll just let myself sound like a nutter, I suppose. I'll have a bunch of sedentary, you know, life deathers or whatever get real upset at me. I'm acting unhinged. You know, creative, imaginative people get boxed in as being labeled autistic now, so you better shove SSRIs down their throat and make sure that they don't bend reality too much. It might become too colorful or fun. So the idea that person was driving down the road and on the interstate, and they had their window down, and they just went, yeah! So here's the idea for the movie. You see that happen, and they go like that, and I look back, and I go, ah! And then that just nothing ever is re-referred. Nothing is even firstly referred. You can't re-refy. You can't refried beans. You know. You could probably refry. I can't say that. You probably cannot refried beans. But I know that that's a staple in the menu of the Taco Bell meal. So long as that restaurant can continue to exist. I heard they're gonna start serving spaghetti soon though. So. Sounds like a dire, you know, clenching to all signs of help. much as the existence I'm perpetuating, where I'm getting infections all over my mouth from a bad tooth, my ear. I had to wear earplugs to music quite a bit. I canceled some practices going on before because I knew that the drums were going to annihilate my head. and I still don't have enough to consider it being a worthwhile claim of approval for insurance to get a root canal. We're onto that topic again. And my dentist damaged my tooth, and they even said to do a root canal. And I said, why won't you do a root canal? And they said, well, you need to get a root canal done. I said, but you just ruined my tooth. I'm in pain now every single day. I went back again 6 months later or whatever. And they're like, you need a root canal. I'm like, can you do one for me? I'm tortured. Insurance. And they're like, we're going to refer you to somebody else. So they did. And they're like, yeah, check out this place up at Rochester. I keep calling them. Don't get any response back. They're like, our staff, our appointments are full now. We have an urgent amount of what? We have an urgent amount of tooths that have been ruined by previous dentists or people on the typical American diet of sugar. Actually, the American diet has changed quite well. People are actually pretty mindful now these days and everything, but... So anyway, then I just went and mailed the thing for appeasement, appending, whatever, claims, something. I appeals. They're going to see that written on the heading of the letter, appeals. They're just going to throw it over their shoulder into the burn barrel, so. But yeah, I have infections, like one's under my tongue now. I went to call the other person, and they're like, oh, we didn't prescribe you any antibiotics from the last time you came up here? I'm like, no. I'm like, are you sure? Like, yeah. Like, oh, sounds like you're in pain. I'm like, yeah. Like, can you do anything to talk to these people? I'm trying to appeal the denial of my insurance coverage claim so I can get a root canal and then a crown, which I was recommended to have done several times. Like, we're sorry, we can't do that for you. So then I call the number or whatever, and there's these people that sound like they hate life. I'm like, could you take some information down for me? And they're like, number please, number please. I'm like, can I say anything else that might help the legitimacy of, what you overlooked as far as me having two different dentists tell me I absolutely would need a root canal. I could save the tooth. I just need the nerve killed. And they're like, claim ID number, please. Bye. Call back again, see if you can get anywhere. I'm like, thanks. Call back again, wait 48 minutes. All of a sudden, the Zodiac Killer, the son of Sam. Gee, I wonder how things happen on this planet. So, another thing too, I'll show you those posts I was posting around Ithaca, the land of free minds and wonderful ideas, about getting shows and more stuff like that, or getting a place for Porch Fest or whatever. I go and post things. Anyway, I won't endure the suffering so much of my attitude. It's just that moments like that are an extreme need to go out and play shows and do things and relate to other people with similar ongoing scenarios. People like that still exist. It hadn't become bill boppers or syringe executionists via the re-immersion of the old history of what was once called the jungle and today's aversion of polluting and destroying the quality of the lake inlet and everything. Not that that's a thing anybody needs to know about. But it's nice to take a little drive anyway, though. And I really did think that would be a great scene in a movie for that person to be driving by and they go, ah! And then you look up and you go, ah! And you can continue out through the rest of what the character's doing. And for this example, they could be, going and trying to file an appeal to a dental claim or whatever. And, eventually they start to go stark mad and become the Zodiac Killer. Because astrology is real big and hot these days, you know what I mean? I can't go around singing Kumbaya all the time if nobody has my back. I feel like I'd be, misrepresenting the general context of reality and everything like that. So I don't want to go around being all fluffy and everything like that. I can still have love in my heart. It's just I have to be a real human being, That's the most trouble you'll ever find to get in today's world. every little thing you say is being watched and will be used against you if it isn't updated to the standards of this world of decadent nunnery occurring. So help me for being a Dionysian, spirit of seeking intuitive hedonism, not overdone. If you're gonna have your hedonism, you have to, serve it up just right. Have it just well enough. So I'll see if I actually don't try to take a sewing needle and pop this infection going on. Just pull my own tooth, I suppose, or fill out. I had to do a root canal myself because, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's my video.